Who can actually afford a $1 million house in 2026? The math is insane. You are scrolling through real estate listings at midnight. Every single house that does not look like it is about to collapse costs $1 million. $1 million. The kitchen has laminate countertops. The yard is the size of a parking spot, and the listing agent is calling it a move-in ready gem. The carpet is beige from 1987. There is fake wood paneling in the basement, and the listing agent has the audacity to call it a starter home. Meanwhile, you are sitting there doing mental math on your salary, wondering if the entire housing market has lost its mind. Spoiler alert, it is not you. It is the math, and the math is absolutely brutal. My name is Adam, MBA, 30 years of real financial experience, and today we are going to do something the real estate industry hates. We are going to calculate who can actually afford a $1 million house in 2026. Not who the bank will give a loan to, but who can legitimately afford it without turning their life into a financial stress simulator. Because there is a massive difference between qualifying for a mortgage and actually being able to sleep at night after you sign the paperwork. In dozens of US markets right now, $1 million is not getting you a mansion. That is getting you a 1,400 square foot box with 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a yard the size of a beach towel. The median household income in America is around $84,000. So we are asking people making $84,000 a year to afford homes that cost 12 times their annual income. If that ratio sounds insane to you, congratulations, you are paying attention. Let us start with the down payment, because that's where most people's dreams go to die. 20% down on a $1 million house is $200,000 cash. Let me say that again, $200,000. The median savings account in America has around $8,000 in it. So you are not just a little short, you are $192,000 short. And before you say you'll just save it, let's do that math too. If you're making $84,000 a year and somehow manage to save 10% of your gross income, you are saving $8,400 per year. At that rate, it will take you almost 24 years to save the down payment, assuming housing prices do not go up, which they absolutely will. So you skip the 20% down payment, you put down 5% instead, which is $50,000. Congratulations, you just unlocked a new expense called PMI, Private Mortgage Insurance. This is the fee you pay every month for the crime of not being wealthy enough. You're paying extra money every month for insurance that protects the bank, not you, because they're worried you might default. So you're starting from a position of financial punishment before you even move in. Now let's talk about the actual mortgage payment. You put down 10%, which is $100,000 somehow scraped together. That leaves you with a $900,000 loan. At current interest rates, around 6.5%, your monthly mortgage payment lands around $5,700. That's just principal and interest. That number does not include a single other thing you need to actually live in the house. So let's start adding. Property taxes, depending on where you live, anywhere from $8,000 to $15,000 per year. That's roughly $1,000 per month. Then there's homeowners insurance, which has skyrocketed thanks to climate change. You're looking at $400 to $600 per month. Then maintenance, budget 1% of home value per year on $1 million house. That's $10,000 annually, $833 every month. And don't forget PMI, another $500 per month. Let's add this all up. Mortgage, $5,700. Property taxes, $1,000. Insurance, $500. Maintenance, $833. PMI, $500. Your total monthly housing cost is now sitting at $8,533 per month, every month, for 30 years. Here's where it gets really interesting. Financial advisors say don't spend more than 28% of gross monthly income on housing. If you're spending $8,533 per month on housing, and that represents 28% of your income, you need to be making roughly $365,000 per year. Only about 5% of US households make $365,000 or more, which means 95% of American households can't comfortably afford a $1 million house under any reasonable financial standard. This is not an opinion, this is math being cruel. But people are still buying these houses. Who are these people? Some have dual incomes in high-paying fields, some have family money, and some are stretching themselves so thin that one medical bill or job loss would collapse their entire financial life. Let me show you what this actually looks like when you run the numbers on a real household trying to make this work. Meet the Johnson family, two working professionals pulling in a combined $280,000 a year. They should be comfortable, right? First, their gross income of $280,000 sounds impressive until the IRS shows up. After federal taxes, state taxes, FICA, and a modest 401k contribution, they're taking home around $16,000 per month. That's their actual money to live on. Now, subtract that $8,500 monthly housing cost. They are left with $7,477 for literally everything else in their lives. Two car payments, because they both commute, there goes $1,200. Car insurance for two vehicles, $350. Gas, because nothing is walkable, $400. Student loans, because they needed those degrees, $800. Health insurance premiums, $600. Groceries for a family, $1,000 if they are careful. Utilities, $600. We are now at $1,517 remaining, and we have not touched clothing, entertainment, kids' activities, car repairs, medical copays, or the psychological need to occasionally leave the house and pretend you have a life. And savings, emergency fund, retirement? Good luck. This household is spending 53% of their take-home pay on housing alone. Not 28%, not even 35%, more than half. And these are not irresponsible people. They are not buying jet skis or taking European vacations. They are just trying to live in a house the market tells them is normal. Here is what that actually feels like day to day. It feels like checking your bank account before buying groceries. It feels like lying awake at 2 a.m. doing mental math about whether you can afford new tires this month. It feels like being one unexpected expense away from disaster at all times. The HVAC breaks, that is $8,000 you do not have. Someone rear-ends you and your deductible is $2,000, you are putting it on a credit card. This is the reality for households earning $280,000 trying to own a $1 million home. Now imagine what it looks like for the household making $200,000 or $150,000, or God forbid, the actual median income of $84,000. At median income, buying a $1 million house is not tight. It's not even stretching. It is mathematical fantasy. It is impossible without either massive external help or accepting a level of risk that would make a skydiver nervous. The housing market does not care about these numbers. Sellers list homes at $1 million because that's what comparable houses sold for. Banks approve buyers because technically the loan will not default immediately. Nobody in this transaction has an incentive to tell you that you are about to financially drown yourself. The system is designed to get you into the house, not to ensure you can comfortably afford it long term. And once you're in, once you have signed those papers and moved your furniture, you are trapped. You cannot just decide 6 months later that this was a mistake and walk away without destroying your credit and losing your down payment. So people stay. They stay in homes they cannot afford, working jobs they hate, watching their savings evaporate. Let me tell you what the harsh truth sounds like. For probably 90% of American households, a $1 million home is not affordable, not sustainably, not without accepting a level of financial precariousness that would have been considered reckless a generation ago. Home prices have increased roughly 400% since 1990, median household income up about 180% in the same period. The math does not work. It cannot work. It will not work. We keep telling people that home ownership is essential for building wealth, which is technically true, but ignores the part where you have to survive the mortgage first. You cannot budget your way out of a structural affordability crisis. Maybe that decision is to keep renting and invest the difference. Maybe it's to look at a $500,000 or $600,000 house in a different market. Maybe it's to acknowledge that home ownership in your current market simply isn't viable right now. And that's okay. Because here's what nobody tells you. There is no prize for buying a house you cannot afford. There is no trophy for being house poor. The stress of barely making your mortgage payment will erase any pride you felt the day you got the keys. The real question is not whether you can technically get approved for a $1 million house. The real question is whether owning that house will actually improve your life, or just transfer your money to a bank while you stress about property taxes. Let me tell you what actually builds wealth. It is not owning a house you can barely afford. It is having margin in your budget. It is being able to invest consistently. It is not having to choose between fixing your roof and contributing to your retirement account. Real wealth is freedom, not equity you can't access because you're trapped by the asset that is supposed to be making you wealthy. The financial industry has done an incredible job convincing people that home ownership is always the right move, but they're selling you a product. They profit when you buy. The bank makes money on your 30-year mortgage. The real estate agent makes money on the sale price. The insurance company makes money on your policy. Nobody in that equation makes money when you say no thanks. So if you're sitting there right now feeling priced out, feeling like home ownership is slipping away, feeling like you're failing at some fundamental adult milestone, I need you to understand something. You are not failing. The system is failing you. Home prices have outpaced wage growth so dramatically that what was normal and achievable for previous generations is now a luxury item for most people. A $1 million house is not a starter home. It is not affordable on a median income. Run your real numbers. Factor in all the costs. Be honest about your income stability. And if the math doesn't work, walk away. There is no shame in saying, this does not make sense for me right now. Stop looking at what you qualify for and start looking at what you can genuinely afford without turning your life into a financial tightrope act. Find the number where you can pay the mortgage, handle maintenance, save for emergencies, invest for retirement, and still occasionally remember what it feels like to not be stressed about money. For most people, that number is nowhere near $1 million, and that's completely fine. You are not less successful because you're being realistic. You are not failing at adulthood because you refuse to financially drown yourself for granite countertops. The housing market will keep pretending these prices make sense. Banks will keep approving loans that shouldn't exist. Real estate agents will keep telling you it's a great time to buy. But you don't have to participate in collective financial insanity just because everyone else is. Sometimes the smartest move is recognizing when the game is rigged and choosing not to play. Because here's the thing about that $1 million house. The bank is not on your side. The agent is not on your side. The market is not on your side. The only person in this entire transaction who is actually on your side is you. And sometimes being on your own side means saying, these numbers don't work, and walking away from the table. So here's my actual advice after 30 years of watching people make this decision. Run the real total cost, not the monthly payment. Compare that to what you could build if you invested instead. Make the decision based on math, not emotion, not social pressure, not your Instagram kitchen dreams. If this video helped you see the real math behind a $1 million house, subscribe to Golden Endings for new videos every week. Drop a comment below telling me, what is your housing situation right now? Are you renting, stretching, or did you find a smart way through this market? I read every single comment.